Okay, welcome to the Friday edition. If any of you are new to this, the idea here is that we get together once a day, just for literally less than 15 minutes, and we activate certain parts of our brain and nervous system that if we get better and better at these practices, it helps us just live a more sane, enjoyable existence. So I'd like to weave in all kinds of different themes and approach this idea of positivity from different angles. And at the center of all of it is this concept of self-directed positive brain plasticity, right? We are self-directing, we're choosing to engage in certain positive experiences and trusting that the more we do that, the more we shape the structure and function of our brain over time, right? That's the plasticity piece. So we're literally self-directing our brain into a state of positivity over and over again. And yeah, if we do that, it just becomes our new normal. That's the idea. So at the root of this, from a neurologic or a neuroscience perspective, when we get together and practice, I want you to imagine that we're pushing a pedal, right? We're intentionally doing something. We're putting effort into something. And in terms of the what happens in our brain, we're stimulating certain neurons to behave in certain ways. And there's sort of two general classifications of neurons. There are those that are, we call them excitatory or activation neurons, meaning when you activate them and stimulate them, they influence other neurons nearby to do something else. Usually it's sort of an excitatory thing. So I want you to think of this as like, this is the gas pedal in the car. When I push the pedal in the car, I'm exciting the engine to do more stuff, to activate more movement. Now there's another pedal that I can push, which is the brake pedal. So again, I'm still doing something, I'm still pushing a pedal, but in this case, the pedal that I'm pushing actually inhibits the movement of the engine and slows things down. So the same thing in our brain, depending on what it is that we're doing, we're either stimulating more activity or we're stimulating a reduction of activity. Okay, so how does this relate to like on a really high level, sort of, sort of behavioral stuff? Well, when we sit down and we do a gratitude practice or flex our compassion muscles or stimulate some kind of a state of being, we're activating this excitatory part of our nervous system, right? We're putting energy into creating a certain experience. So we're activating something. Now, we also sometimes put energy into uh, sort of experiences, but they're more inhibitory or preventative. So, for example, letting go of runaway thoughts, right? So I'm noticing the runaway thoughts, but I'm intentionally putting the brakes on getting wrapped up in them or getting swept away by them. That would be an example of like inhibitory activation. Or pausing before reacting or saying something. I notice the compulsion to burst out in anger and say something, but I'm going to hit the brake pedal to slow things down, right? So I hope this kind of makes sense in terms of. So I thought today we'll spend just a few minutes just sort of dropping into the noticing the subjective experiential difference when we're activating a state of mind versus inhibiting a certain experience in the brain. And as always, these are experiments. So if it lands, great. If it doesn't, thanks for trying it out. So let's close our eyes. Again, I know I say this every time, but as soon as I close my eyes, I automatically take a deep breath. So let's do that together. So take a deep breath in, slow exhale through the mouth, and see if you can just melt into this moment right here, right now. Just allowing the body to breathe. We're stimulating the intention to just be right here, right now. The morning is done. There's nothing we can do to change that. It's all just a memory at this point. The afternoon hasn't happened yet, so it's just a figment of our imagination. And so we're left with this beautiful simplicity of just right here, right now, just sitting, breathing, just noticing. And then we can activate this excitatory part of our nervous system. And we're going to push the gas pedal on gratitude. So we practiced this yesterday, but right now, just noticing what happens if I intentionally put more energy into creating a sense of appreciation and thankfulness for being here, sharing this moment with everyone, being alive, having another day, and the opportunity to make some choices and experience things of my choosing. It's appreciating the freedom and the possibility that's there. So when we do this and we lean into gratitude in this way, neurologically speaking, we're activating all of these excitatory neurons that allow us to have this experience. We're pushing the gas pedal on gratitude right now. Let's see if you can just stay with that subjective experience of gratitude. Stay with it. It's really just a matter of time as we try to stay with this experience of gratitude. The mind doesn't like this monotony. It wants variety. It's constantly scanning for other experiences. And so it's just a matter of time before you'll notice that the mind wants to move away from gratitude and glom onto some other thought pops up, some other memory. Again, it's totally normal. Right now, we're noticing that when that happens, we're going to push the brake pedal. So we're going to resist going down the rabbit hole of whatever thoughts pop up in our mind. And instead, we're just going to stay as best as we can with the experience of gratitude or the intention of experiencing gratitude. So we're, in essence, inhibiting the mind's natural tendency to activate those neurons to go flitting about and paying attention to all kinds of other experiences. And instead, we're hitting the brakes, saying, nope, I'm going to stay right here with this experience of gratitude right now. And in essence, our brain, our nervous system is constantly jumping back and forth between this idea of excitation, moving towards, and then inhibition and sort of putting the brakes on things. So right now, the goal is just to notice the different how different it is to lean into something and amplify it versus intentionally leaning away from something and trying to put the brakes on for a bit. And then let's shift into another sort of activation mode. So let's activate some compassion. So just imagining everyone on this call, everyone has, bodies that sometimes ache or feel tired or uncomfortable. Everyone has hopes and dreams of kind of relationships that we want in our life and kind of day we'd like to have, and it doesn't always work out that way. So just stimulating this sense of compassion, and you're realizing like everyone's just like me, wants to be happy and healthy, at ease, peaceful. Notice what it's like to stimulate that sense of compassion. And on the flip side, noticing maybe bringing to mind a situation in which you felt frustrated or irritated or really had to bite your tongue to speak out and express your anger or your annoyance. And just notice what it's like to just breathe, sort of inhibit that impulsivity or that compulsion to act out. Again, we're pressing the brake on something. And so the goal here is just to familiarize ourselves with the nuances of what it's like when we put energy into something to speed it up, put energy into something in order to actually slow it down. Very subtle, very significant when we become aware of what it feels like to stimulate these different systems. Take a deep breath in through the nose, slow exhale through the mouth, pushing air all the way out of the lungs and the belly. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In through the nose, out through the mouth, relaxing the belly and the chest, the neck and the shoulders. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on back. And we are out of time. Um, yeah, hoping this little sort of neuroscience geek out session was entertaining or interesting. Um, Take care, everyone. See you on Monday.